Hello. And hello. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, as an American, all I think about is guns. That's it. All day. Guns for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So I was thinking, what kind of weapons are actually legal in Germany? I used to watch the Slingshot channel a lot growing up. That German dude made all sorts of stuff out of rubber bands. He made like air guns. And I was just curious. I think that some more high-powered stuff is legal if you have certifications and stuff. I don't know if it's legal for self-defense. I thought this video right here, I was looking around for some information. I found this. This looked pretty interesting. What weapons are legal for self-defense in Germany? Get Germanized. Link down below. Of course. I'm super curious to learn.
Hallo und willkommen. Ich bin Meister Lenze and you.
Oh, it's in German. Why did I not expect that? Okay, we got the subtitles on.
Watching Get Germanized what weapons you can legally
Oh, it's not in German.
carry and use for self-defense in Germany.
I am bored. What should I do?
Ich weiß.
Yes, sir. I've seen this channel before. Go check him out. Link down below.
So I actually got this question from one of you guys. What are some weapons that I can legally carry in Germany for self-defense as a citizen and as a tourist? Well, that is not very difficult to answer because
As a tourist, I doubt you can carry anything.
in Germany, weapons laws are very strict. Basically, if you were thinking that you can just openly carry like a gun, or I mean an assault rifle, obviously not, but those kind of things, they just don't fly. Like you can't do it mostly. The legal weapons that you can actually carry with you,
That's what I want to know.
use for self-defense and only for self-defense. You can't attack first. There's the law, again, very strict for those kind of
I would hope not.
things. If you attack first, it might even be that you are the one being, in the end, charged.
Well, actually, okay. It gets a lot more hairy once you start talking about, self-defense law. Super interesting type of topic. What exactly is something that constitutes self-defense? That's a fascinating thing to think about. If someone comes up on you threatening you with their posture, with their words, they're angry, they're clearly, an attack is imminent. Can you attack them first? What if you're in your house and they break in and they're threatening you? I think that you should be able to take them out under those circumstances, in my opinion. But maybe that's just because I'm American and that's just how it is over here. I don't know. But if someone breaks into your house,
And if you use it for self-defense, a different story. But the use of force has to be appropriate. For example, if someone comes at you with his bare fists, right, and you shoot him, like that wouldn't be appropriate, would it?
here in America, that actually is kind of a gray area. It really depends. It really depends. The standard is usually whether or not you are in great bodily harm or at risk of great bodily harm. So, fists, it actually might depend on how big the guy is, stuff like that. A fist can do some damage. It is crazy, though. But also, on the flip side, here in America, we do have laws like that. For instance, I remember this. Pretty commonly what you'll see is someone might have acted out of self-defense initially. But then if they keep going, for instance, if they shoot after the subject is already down, not necessarily dead, but just down and no longer an active threat, if you continue to attack them, you're now culpable. You can't do that. Yeah, super interesting.
But it's really difficult to judge that. I think the law in Germany is a bit like what is appropriate, really. Like sometimes if you use a certain weapon, the assailant might not stay down and might attack you again, so it might not have been enough. And
Exactly.
It's really hard to judge, I think, even after those situations in court. But anyway, to use any of the weapons that we're going to talk about in this video, you need at least a small weapons license.
Really? Even for something like a knife? I mean, I don't know what he's about to talk about, but you need a small weapons license? Hey, that makes sense to me. Like, I'm okay with that. You should probably have to go get some kind of license or something just to carry anything.
Kleiner Waffenschein. Without it, you're only allowed to use these in your own apartment, in your own building, or, well, on your private grounds.
Okay,
but if you do have a small weapons license, then you're allowed to carry those outside of your own home, and also...
I honestly can't wait. I'm on the edge of my freaking seat. Literally. What weapons are we talking about?
Well, defend yourself and others with it in
I'm all tangled up,
self-defense
folks. Okay,
situations only, though. More about the small and the regular weapons license later in this video. One of the legal weapons is CS gas or
Here we go.
tear gas. But of course, that weapon is kind of difficult to handle. You can, I mean, you could injure yourself with that. Not really injure, but you know what I mean. Like, you could harm yourself with it. Or, well, I think even 20% of people are immune to tear gas. So
Immune? Damn. Those are some freaky people. Immune to tear gas, but that's kind of interesting. I mean, here in America, people give tear gas to their, 15-year-old girls. For good reason sometimes. Or at least pepper spray. Maybe tear gas and pepper spray. There's probably a distinction there. But anyone can carry pepper spray. Yeah. So, if you go creeping on a little girl here in America, she very well may.
so that doesn't really do anything to them. So that is kind of like a meh weapon. Another alternative to the tear gas would be the pepper spray. Usually, like, law says it's only allowed to be used against animals. So you can carry it with you, and if a dog attacks you or something like that, then...
Okay, he says here, it can be used in self-defense. I was going to say, really? Someone's coming at you, attacking you, and you're like, oh, I've got this pepper spray, but I can't use it.
You can spray them with
You can.
But if you use it against people, I am pretty sure that's actually not legal. Only, again, if there's a valid case of self-defense.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's a given for any of these, right? You can only use anything in self-defense.
You have to self-defend and then use it against a person.
Or if they consent to it, which some people are weird. Some people are weird. I think some people are into that, Pepper spray me in the eyes.
It's a different story. Another thing you can use is the pepper.
They'll put out like ads in the newspaper, And does anybody want to pepper spray me in the eyeballs?
Pistol. It's basically a pistol that just shoots little pepper bullets, I suppose.
I've seen this.
That explode.
Once again, you can buy this for your 15-year-old. I wouldn't recommend it, though, because it does look like a firearm, and if a policeman saw you carrying this, it might not be good. If he thought, as far as giving it to kids or something, I think that is probably really stupid, because if they pull it out and people think it's real, that's not good.
And then have the same effect as like tear gas or pepper spray. You're also allowed to carry around a little telescope stick that like you can elongate, basically. How do you say that? That gets longer when you do this, and then it's like
a baton
made out of metal, and you can use it for self-defense. Again, I think not legally against people, only in the case of self-defense. But even then, like,
I'm sorry, that's funny to me. You can't use it against people unless it's self-defense. I mean, yeah, I would hope. This is kind of a strange self-defense item, though. It's kind of strange. Like, really, you're not going to be able to incapacitate the attacker at all. You're basically hoping to be like, yo, I'ma hurt you. This is gonna hurt, so you better back off. That's pretty much the line of attack with that thing, I guess.
Like I said, it has to be
usually used by like police to make someone act how they want them to act. If they're not.
Appropriate force that you use against him. You can't beat him half to death just because you think he wanted to attack you. German law is very difficult when it comes to that. Some call it stupid, I know, but that's just how it is. appropriate
It does get very complicated. Okay, so he's making a little distinction here. You can't use it just because you think they wanted to attack you. It's definitely more of a gray area here in America. Like you can't unless they make it very clear they are going to attack you. Now, of course, that's very hard to prove. But yeah.
force. Keep that in mind. Also, if you take these with you, remember that it's mostly used in Germany to scare off people and not to actually harm them with it. Like, for example, if they see a huge metal bat or something that you carry around.
I think that would be pretty badass, though. I'm not going to lie. Out of all the ones I've seen so far, taking that out, and just carry it low down by your side. You'll be all right. They'll back off.
Around with you, then that might just be enough. They might not try anything, but of course, never can be sure.
It's
but
like a ninja move, like nunchucks.
In Germany, again, very strict. Don't do anything that might get you sued in the end. Another weapon to consider is, of course, the taser. Keep in mind that with all these weapons, they need to have the proper approval symbols on them, like an emblem on them, basically. PTB or an F, depending on what kind of weapon you're getting. And if you don't have those symbols on
air CO2. I want to see some CO2 powered stuff
on the weapon, then it's not legal to use at all. So make sure that your weapon was approved before you consider that. And again, they suggest, from what I read up on,
I think it's much less strict here in America. I feel like half of it's like knockoff crap from China. Like, I really don't know if there's any kind of certification for this type of stuff
on the internet, that you just use that.
There probably should be.
To demonstrate that you have it, to like scare the assailant off, instead of really using it for reasons that are obvious. Like if someone has a pacemaker and dies, and again, the appropriate amount of force that you use, you killed him because he scared you, for example, or something like that, or was about to attack you. That's just like, you see where I'm getting, right? Another question
Man, that is tough.
got was about paintball and paintball weapons. So what about paintball? Is that covered under the gun law? Do you have paintball?
Fascinating question. I love paintball. I mean, I loved it growing up. I don't know why adults don't play paintball more often. I think they should. Paintball is fun.
Parks. It is covered under the gun law because I guess they look very similar sometimes to real weapons, depending on what kind of gun you have, or at least it's vague.
Sort of. I guess they can. Airsoft guns look a lot more like real guns, but
Enough, especially in darker situations, that people or the police wouldn't know if you have a real gun or not, so it might be dangerous. So you're not allowed to carry that around openly. You will have to put it in your trunk, in your, what do you call that, your boot in British English, or even in a closed bag, and you have to put it in there and then drive to the paintball grounds, which we do have in
oh, cool, you do have it.
Germany, and then unpack.
Shout out to any paintballers.
Which is there, but don't just have it openly in your car. And it is not allowed to be like ready to shoot. It needs to be, I think, even empty. Different like bullets in a separate container, and all of that stuff, just very secure, basically. And of course, you can't carry around any of these if you are not 18 yet. Keep that in mind as well. Then you can purchase any paintball weapon that has, I think, a jewel limit.
You can't carry a paintball gun if you're not 18? Huh. Wow. Okay. Is that true? I wonder if he meant that about paintball. That makes sense. It makes more sense for the other ones, but paintball is a game that, at least here in America, the vast majority of people playing paintball are under 18. They're like 14 to 18. I feel like that's the prime age of people playing paintball. So if you can't play it when you're under 18, that's unfortunate.
Of 7.5, and also it needs to have one of those F symbols on it that I was talking about before. So basically what the law says,
I wonder if that applies to the paintball guns.
Is that you cannot carry around a paintball gun.
Oh, apparently it does. Interesting.
With no weapons license at all, and not even with a small weapons license, because we have a small one for like some types of weapons and a big one.
Okay, let me read that. Small I can't read with that stuff up there. Small firearms carry permit. A small firearms carry permit was introduced in 2002. It can be obtained without having to demonstrate expert knowledge, necessity, or a mandatory insurance. The only requirements are that the applicant be of legal age. Oh, that makes sense.
License, because we have a small one for like
It entitles the licensee to publicly carry gas pistols. Would that be a paintball pistol? Maybe. Both of the blank and irritant. And flare guns. These type of firearms are freely available to adults. Only the actual carrying on public property requires the permit. Similar to the full permit, carrying at public events is prohibited.
like some types of weapons and a big one, and you will have to have like a regular gun license for carrying a paint.
A mandatory legal and safety class and shooting proficiency tests are required to obtain such a permit. Carry permits are usually only issued to persons with a particular need for carrying a firearm.
Paintball rifle outside of the paintball grounds here in Germany. I'm no weapons expert, but hope this was helpful to you. If it was, leave a like. And
That was really cool. I hadn't even considered paintball. Like, that's a really interesting one. Now I'm really wondering, can you play paintball if you're under 18? That's just a quirky little thing that I want to know. Can you play paintball under 18? My gosh. Overall, very interesting. Very interesting. Mostly that got me thinking about, the self-defense laws. That is certainly interesting. It sounds more strict than here in America. Which here in America, it spans. There's a wide range. Some states have what's called a stand your ground law, which is like way more. You can shoot someone for looking at you wrong on your property. No, I'm just kidding. But it is pretty relaxed. Like, you can shoot someone on a stand your ground law. No, there's two different ones I'm thinking of. There's one where if someone's breaking into your house, it doesn't matter if they are threatening you or have a weapon. If they have broken into your house, you can shoot them. It's all very interesting to think about, in my opinion. All right. Go check out Get Germanized. Link down below. Very interesting subject. Sorry if I offended anybody. I feel like this subject offends people. So I'm getting ahead of that. But I don't think most people are offended by that. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow.